Hey guys, Ryan here with the week of October 14th programming presentation here. So announcements, just simplifying it this week. You guys, if you haven't left us a Google review, go ahead and do that and grab yourself a free FitAid for your Google review. If you haven't left a Google review at both locations, both CrossFit 3XF or 3XF Stanton, then go ahead and make sure to leave one at each location and get another FitAid if you leave 2 reviews as well. All right, into the programming this week. So Monday, unique workout here. So it's mostly strength all day, and I know people love that. So starting out with some type of ring rows, pull-ups, weighted pull-ups. Give yourself just a quick breather there of 10 seconds, and you're going into some thrusters. So the point of those thrusters is to go heavier than you're normally used to going with your thrusters. Do a set of 10 unbroken, and you'll have 5 rounds of this. So you'll start conservatively, but you'll still be starting heavier than you're used to, and then you'll keep getting heavier as you can as you go through these thrusters. You've got plenty of rest in between your rounds here. So even though you're not necessarily on the clock and breathing heavy the entire time you're working that day, you're still going to get a lot of work in with those challenging pull-ups or ring rows and those challenging thrusters. So that'll be about 12 or 15 minutes of strength work there. And then we've got a core finisher. We've got another 12 minutes or so of core work. So even though you're not on the clock this day, you're still going to be getting a ton of good accessory work in and strength work in. And it's going to be a good recovery from all the work we did this past week and our first open workout on Saturday. Then we'll cool down with some mobility stuff there, and then we'll look towards cleans on Tuesday with our skills acceleration. On our CVC class that day, we're still doing some core, and we're still doing thrusters, and we're still doing some pulling like you would in pull-ups. So slam ball shoulder thrusters, going to encourage you to go heavy on those, heavy balls there. Some rowing sprints, not quite the fastest times you've seen since you have to maintain it for 45 seconds, but you will hit your 10. The dumbbell plank row, for anybody that did FAME or did our CVC classes at our FAME location, you remember doing these. These were kind of subs we used out instead of rope climbs. Very challenging. So basically you're holding a plank position on top of dumbbells and rowing. The heavier you go, the slower you get to go on that. And the heavier you go, the more likely you are to get to that 9 as well. And we're going heavy with the double kettlebell sumo deadlifts as well. True sumo deadlifts that day. Tuesday, cleans all day. So cleans in the strength portion there. We're going to stick with the hang power clean. So this is going to be big, powerful hip extensions on the strength day that day. And then we'll stay with that, but we'll bring the weight down a little bit for our workout. 12-minute workout here, and you'll see the way this is organized. Then you got some power cleans going on, and then you've got some hanging knee raises or toes to bar. Or sit-ups, and then at the 2-minute point, you're going to do a shuttle run and come back and get back to work. So your goal here is to kind of stay unbroken through those sets of cleans and toes to bar, and then run that shuttle run and come back and get another round in or more if you can. So adding this up, if you can get a couple rounds in before you hit that 2-minute mark, run your shuttle run, come back in and get at least another round in, you're going to be getting into 8+ rounds by the time you're done with these 12 minutes. So fairly intense workout with the runs in there. They won't be sprints. They're kind of a chance to catch your breath and then try to stay unbroken as possible when you're doing the weighted portion. And then we've got to cool down, either run or row, your choice there, kind of building in intensity and then cool down again. And then we'll look towards Wednesday for our overhead squats for our skills acceleration. Vital confidence for CVC. So this is confidence month this month, and we're getting our mixed interval in of vital confidence in this week. So that means you start at some longer durations of work, and then you go down to a shorter duration of work, and so you build intensity that way, though we're not going to get super short, so you still got to pace yourself throughout the. So you're still pacing yourself through that duration of work. So looking at this is kind of a unique setup here. Lateral shuffle for 3 minutes, and then med ball shuffle for 2 minutes, and then a banded shuffle for a minute. And then everything else stays the same through those 3 minutes, 2 minutes, and 1 minute of work, but you're going to make them harder and harder by adding weight or making the ring rows more difficult or making the jackknives more difficult on that day. Wednesday, overhead squats all day. So overhead squats in our strength portion there, lots of different variations. Make sure you're getting the right movement pattern down. So stay lighter if you struggle with this movement and try to get through that overhead mobility. If you have to, you're going to go to wall squats, maybe a PVC pipe against the wall or behind the rig on that. Or maybe even no PVC pipe, you're just working on wall squats to increase that range of motion. And then we'll do overhead squats in the workout. And the way this is structured, that 10 down to 1, that means you're going to end up doing 55 of each of these movements. Not a whole lot of overall volume there, which means you're going to stay unbroken, it's going to stay quick, and you're going to try to get this done in under 12 minutes. And then we've still got some work afterwards, great accessory work here with the Peterson step-ups. That's working at full terminal knee extension there, really helping create healthy knees. Side plank hip abductors, so working the side of the butt there, and then single leg deadlift, still working in the glutes. Hump day HIIT class. So instead of doing overhead squats to kind of mimic our hump day HIIT class, we're just going to do a functional bodybuilding day that day. So this one looks like a tough one. 4 rounds of 90 seconds at each of these movements. Start conservatively and keep adding in weight and adding in intensity throughout this workout. So you're kind of making the most of your periods of work. So starts out with 8 double dumbbell rack squats. You can start heavy and get heavier and heavier there. And you're going to want to do that because you're going to want to slow down through those rack squats as you go through this workout so that you do less and less air squats afterwards. So the way it's structured is you do your rack squats, heavy rack squats, and then drop the weights and keep doing air squats up until the 60-second mark. That will give you 30 seconds of rest before you do the weighted sit-ups. And then you're doing those for 45 seconds. You'll get 45 seconds of rest before you head over to the bikes. And you'll do 30 seconds of legs only on the bikes at a very high intensity and 30 seconds of arms only on the bike at high intensity. It's going to get that heart rate up. And then 30 seconds of rest before you go to those shoot throughs with a push-up. And then you'll start that over again. So really excited about this workout. Looks like it's going to be a lot of fun. Thursday, we've got a chipper. So I like the way this is structured. You've got kind of higher skill movements at the beginning of this workout, the first half of the workout, with the box jumps and the kettlebell swings or the snatches. And then you're going to jump ropes, and then you're going back to a similar movement pattern, but not quite as high a level of difficulty as you go to those step-ups and kettlebell swings if you were doing the snatches. So that's going to allow you to keep the intensity high through all this work that you're going to end up doing. And it's going to be 20 plus minutes of work for most people. Depending on how many people are in class, you may be starting with the row or you may be ending with the row, and you may be starting with a run or ending with the run. So you might have a choice on that. And I say might. It's up to the coach there, whoever you end up with that day. And then we'll roll out to cool down, and we'll start looking at kipping pull-ups for our Friday work. Our CVC on Thursday is going to be a confidence workout, rowing, sustained pace, weighted jump rope, try to keep it moving for 2 minutes, step-ups, try to keep moving for 2 minutes, and then we're throwing in a new movement. This was seen in Festivus Games a few weeks ago, this Devil's Press. It's kind of like a renegade row or man maker, but it moves a little bit quicker than that because you don't do the rows. You kind of do a burpee on top of some dumbbells, and then you're doing almost like a two-handed snatch overhead. This is really going to keep the heart rate up, so you're going to have to really pace yourself on that. Don't go too heavy on those dumbbells. You're going to keep them light. Friday, working on upper body, strict press, no use of the legs there, you're just squeezing the glutes and squeezing the quads, and then pressing with the overhead muscles. Get fairly heavy here with sets of 5, triples, or working down to a 1 in the purple. But then you get to move to push press in the workout. We'll stay unbroken through pretty much all of this work that you're going to be doing over 15 minutes. Looking to get 3+ rounds in on this, trying to keep the runs fairly quick so you can get back and try to stay unbroken through the pull-ups, push press, and back squats. We'll cool down with some jogging or rowing, your choice again, and then some quad work to stretch it out and mobilize. No idea what skills acceleration will be because we're going to wait for the open announcement and see if whatever's coming up in the open is something we want to teach in that skills acceleration that day. Friday, we got a vitality workout. So love the way this is structured. Single arm dumbbell push press. Going to stay fairly conservative with the weight there because you're going to accumulate a lot of volume by the time you're done with this workout. You'll switch 30 seconds on one side, 30 seconds on the other. Kettlebell squat cleans, you'll be able to go up in weight with that and get fairly heavy through that. Now, probably not your heaviest kettlebell squat cleans, but fairly heavy. And then single arm kettlebell power rows, this is where you're going to be moving some weight. 30 seconds on one side, 30 seconds on the other side. It's not a fast movement. We get to get fairly heavy by the time we're done with this workout. Forward back pedal, we'll start conservatively, and then we'll start to speed up by the time we get done with this workout. Still waiting on what our open workout will be. And then Saturday's CVC class. So this is all the movements that I wanted to get to throughout the week, but couldn't fit into a workout. So we're just going to throw them all in this commitment workout. Burpees, fast stands, ball slams, hollow rocks. You know, if you don't see a whole lot of weight, that it's going to be a very challenging workout. And that's what we've got going on that Saturday. See you guys this week. Thanks.